Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 870. It's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway here at the last place on earth, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Today, I bring you into an interview with another Seattle, Washington band called the RAMBLIN YEARS. Plus, we hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster. And do you hate pigeons? How about if they had bat wings? How about if they were mini dinosaurs? Now you want to go to the pet store and get one.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
We find out all about that news story, and it is both scary and fun.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
So last night I had my little dinner party, and it was so much fun and very low-key. Then I set it up so we could do karaoke, and I have to admit I sang a lot of songs that are hokey. We are using the mic and equipment that I used for my podcast.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
So the lyrics to an awful Taylor Swift song were sung past
Mike's
this microphone
Daily
foam
Podcast.
But we didn't sing Rome by the B-52s, but we did sing a lot of Pretenders. There's not enough reverb in the world to save my singing voice, I have to say. But, oh my gosh, look who just walked in. Hi, Mac. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. Hi, how you doing?
As a disgruntled fiddle player, tell you
What?
we weren't invited to your sensational karaoke party. Now we feel completely like we're just chopped liver and such.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to have a lot of people here because, you know, when I have a lot of people, then things get broken. To wit.
Yeah, well, that wasn't my fault. Anyway, I want to tell y'all that I think it's beautiful that Shelly Shuhart and the Brewmaster are in love.
Yeah, they are in love, and it's interesting. Oh, look who else just walked in.
Hi, Mike. I'm Ike the Root Beer. I'm the Brewmaster. Oh, boy.
Brewmaster, we were just talking about you and how you wrote such beautiful poetry to Shelly Shuhart.
Who's that?
The girl that you're in love with.
Oh, yeah. She works in the gift shop. Oh, boy.
Yeah, she has a chicken pot pie bar, and you make the root beer, and you wrote some poetry for her.
Yeah, you know what, Mike? Sometimes when I'm making my root beer, poetry will pop into my head, as well as flashing lights, and then I pass out. Oh, boy.
Wow, that doesn't sound healthy. This doesn't sound healthy either, being attacked by scary, huge, bat-wing pigeons. But apparently, such things actually existed. This, according to Reuters, scientists in China today described one of the weirdest flying creatures ever discovered, a pigeon-sized dinosaur with wings like a bat that lived not long ago before the birds. The dinosaur, named Yi-Qi, meaning strange wing in Mandarin, and it's pronounced E-Qi, lived about 160 million years during the Jurassic period, about 10 million years before the earliest known bird, the Archaeopteryx. Speed that up and it'll sound correct. It is considered a cousin of birds, but boasted membranous wings made of skin like those of the extinct flying reptiles known as pterosaurs, which lived at the same time, and bats, which appeared more than 100 million years later, instead of the stiff plume-like feathers of birds. Each wing was supported by a clawed, three-fingered hand and a rod-like bone extending from the wrist. One of the fingers was much longer than the others. Feathers preserved around its neck, head, and limbs are more similar to hairs or bristles than to bird flight feathers. They say it's hard to imagine that it could have flapped very effectively, since the rod-like bone was presumably a fairly unwieldy thing to have attached to the wrist. So our guess would be that Yi-Qi was gliding, or maybe combining gliding with some relatively inefficient flapping. Before aviation pioneers Orville and Wilbur Wright flew the world's first successful airplane, others dabbled with all manners of experimental flying machines. There was an analogous period of flight experimentation among dinosaurs before small feathered ones evolved into birds. Finding a dinosaur with a membranous wing was quite amazing and unexpected. Ichi illustrates the first related evolutionary tinkering that was going on in the dinosaur precursors to birds. Matches of the membranous wing tissue were preserved in the fossil discovered in the Hebei province by a local farmer, but the overall wing shape remains uncertain. This dinosaur probably lived in trees and used peg-leg teeth to munch lizards, mammals, and insects, and perhaps fruit. So, and they also say Ichi is the shortest name of any of these 700 identified dinosaur species. So that's a good thing. That's an improvement, an evolutionary improvement.
Mark, I don't believe in evolution. I believe everything was created by God, including bat-winged, demon-looking creatures that flew millions and millions of years before God created the earth.
Wow, it's an interesting belief system you have.
It's my belief system. And that means it is perfect.
It's definitely unique. Benita, do you agree with him? Sometimes I think he's talking out the backside on the opposite side of where his belt buckle is. But that's all right. I love him anyway, because he's my husband. I guess he is.
Benita, thank you. That was beautiful.
Let's hear it for the two lovebirds, Benita and the Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Lovebirds that are evolutionarily connected to dinosaurs.
You shut your mouth right now.
Okay. Mike, that was romantic. I gotta go. Bye, all my birds are scary. So what do you think about that and dinosaurs and karaoke and singing Taylor Swift and Pretender songs? And what do you think about poetry and all that? You can tell me. Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST-870-Americana. We read your comments on the section emails from email. You can also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show. And you can also comment on the show. There, we're at Facebook, facebook.com/MIKEs-DAILY-Podcast, and also on Twitter at Mike Talks. We read your comments on the section emails from email and your calm and not so comments. Ooh, and I wanted to say a big congratulations out to Bob, the father of the girl you hear at the end of every show that says, "See you tomorrow, bye." Her dad is retiring from the fire department. So big congratulations out to him, Bob. Bob. That's quite a career. He had a lifelong career in firefighting. And now he is retiring, and they're going to travel. He and his wife, Georgia, are going to travel across the U.S. So that's exciting. I'm so happy for him. Great guy. Been to many a barbecue at his house, and his wife's an excellent cook. So, in summation, you can also find us at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com with links to where to listen to this show in iTunes. Subscribe to us there. And you can also rate and comment on the show. If you do that, more people find out about us and we don't languish in obscurity. We are also on YouTube. You can hear us there. Hear us on SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, Podomatic, Mixcloud, Spreaker, Player FM, and Ameristream. There is also where I do my morning show in Connecticut. You can listen to that, a link to that. I'm on there weekdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And a link to where to listen to my country show on Country Crossroads Radio. A link to that. And you can hear me on that show all day. I'm like the station voice for Country Crossroads Radio. There's links to that, as well as where to find us on Instagram, Yelp, and Tumblr. And there's the blog, the Daily Podcast Picture, all my past interviews. Oh, and if you want to help us out, too, there's a link to Amazon. Go to MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Click on that Amazon link before you buy anything on Amazon. And when you do buy something, that helps us out. All there at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And now, an interview with another Seattle band by the name of the RAMBLIN YEARS.
Into an interview.
Hello, Sean. It is the RAMBLIN YEARS we're talking to now on Mike's Daily Podcast.
Woo!
Via Skype. Sean Claver, hello.
Hello, Mike. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You are the lead singer, guitarist of the RAMBLIN YEARS. There's a lot of people in this band.
Yep, right now there's 5 of us. Yeah.
You and Katie Sweeney. She also sings vocals.
She sings and plays guitar as well.
And Daniel Dunn, he also sings.
He also sings, and he shreds the saxophone.
And then Daniel Dovin,
yeah.
Why do my V's look like R's? I don't know. And he plays drums and sings.
Mm-hmm.
And Mitch Edwards plays bass.
Correct.
How did you guys all get together?
Well, for the four of us besides Mitch, we all ended up one way or another going to Seattle University back in 2009, and we were all in the choir program, and that's where we met. We decided to form a band, and there was kind of a little Battle of the Bands contest going on. So we thought, hey, like, I hear you play drums, I hear you play bass. Everybody kind of came together, and we wrote some songs, and ended up winning that Battle of the Bands, and kind of earned some fans on campus and in the neighborhood. And since then, we just decided, let's just do this forever. So, we met in school, and then we were lucky enough to meet Mitch Edwards about this time last year at Fastback Studios in Seattle, Washington, where we ended up recording this latest EP. So Mitch joined the band a year ago, and he's a great guy. He's a really good fit, personality-wise, and we just love making music together.
And didn't you win twice?
We did. So we were, this all started, I guess, our sophomore year of college. And we won the Battle of the Bands, and felt good about it, and felt good about our songs, and then junior year, everybody decided to go study abroad. So Katie went to Morocco, I went to Mexico, our former sax player went off to France. So the band kind of took a year off, kind of right as we got started. But then when we came back for our senior year, a friend of ours was booking shows at Chop Suey for a while, and he invited us to come play a bill on a Friday night, and everybody had a great time, and we kind of just looked around at each other and said, like, let's just do this as much of a career as we can make it, and let's stay together and take over the world. So that's been kind of the mission since then.
Tell me about Chop Suey.
Chop Suey, that's a kind of a club, dive bar, music venue a couple blocks away from the Seattle University campus. And I guess it got a lot of traffic back in the grunge heyday, and now a lot of pretty much any genre of music is featured there. And it's just kind of a local hotspot for live music.
Oh, cool. Man, I wish I went to Seattle University.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You're kind of in the middle of the city, so you've got some of the city's biggest venues within a couple blocks. So it was a very inspiring place to be a student of music and to be new to the city and kind of check out what was going on. It's pretty great.
And Sean, what got you into making music?
Well, I guess the easy answer to that is my family. My dad and all my uncles and my mom, they were all musicians, not professionally, but, quite accomplished at their instruments and great singers. And so I grew up listening to, all my parents' old Sun records like Elvis Presley and Roy Orbison and all those guys, and really just fell in love with that tradition of music. And I just learned how to play guitar sitting around family campfires, and thought I knew how to sing, and then I realized I got to college and had to relearn how to sing. But that's okay.
the in the chorus class you had, just trying
to learn how to sing so that my voice can last my lifetime, and I don't burn out too soon. So
now that is a great thing that you did. So now you can last forever.
That's the plan.
Did you go to Sun Records?
I've never been to Memphis. That's kind of a life dream of mine, is to go there and see the studio. And I know some of my favorite artists have actually made records there. I know Chris Isaak made a record there a couple years ago, and Justin Townes Earl did a record there, I think. So someday it'd be amazing to even make a record in that room. That would be like a dream come true. But for now, we do what we can here in Seattle.
It seems so small, that room. It just seems like an average room, but it made so much music. That's
what I love about it, is it was just so simple. It was really just about the music, I think.
And you made Nickels and Dimes, your new EP, at the Fastback Studios?
Yeah, Fastback Studios.
And what was that like, making that album?
That was a really wonderful process. And admittedly, that was the first time, besides Mitch, I think that was the first time any of us had made a record in like a real professional studio. I mean, everything we had done up to that point was home recordings, and whether it was Pro Tools or, cassette tapes growing up. So it was very exciting to be in a room with our producer, Jason Lackey, who works at Fastback. And, all this, vintage gear and modern gear. I mean, you had the best digital racks money could buy, but then in the same room, there was a 1958 Hammond B3 organ, and like a wall of old vintage amps, and all these old Ampeg compressors, and it was just everything you could want to make the sound that you had always envisioned. Wow. And it was a great experience.
And that's in Seattle.
That's in Seattle, yeah.
How neat. Wow. It sounds like you were a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, that is the exact... I think I might have even said that to Jason at the time. I was like, man, I feel like a little kid. I'm so excited.
And it amazes me. I was listening to the EP and then all the vocal parts, and it just sort of has this big... It's interesting how you guys met in chorus, because there is sort of almost a chorus, not like a Christmas musical type thing, but like you're all you all contributing in a way. How do you guys figure out all your vocal parts?
Yeah, well, that kind of sound that you mentioned is really one of the most important elements of our music when we write songs and when we get together. And we've always kind of remembered that we met in a choir, and we kind of wanted to bring, not like the classical choir type singing, but just we wanted our record to feel like you're in a room full of people singing together. Mm-hmm. And so either Katie or I will write a song and a basic melody and a chord progression. And I'd have to say Katie's really the one who does a lot of the arrangements vocally. Yeah, she sits down and really studies the melodies I come up with, and she'll sit down with a piano and some sheet music and write out the harmony parts for Daniel Dunn. And it's amazing. Her brain, I wish I had her brain. She can just, the way she puts harmonies together is amazing. And that's pretty much how we do it. Yeah.
Well, I want to play One Eye Open. How did this song come about?
Well, that song came about, I think I might have written it right around this time last year. I was kind of between jobs, and we had just released our debut home recording. And I was looking for work and applying, everything from paralegal positions to construction to landscaping, just trying to find a job.
Wow.
And I ended up getting a job with King County Parks and Recreation. And
neat.
And I'd been doing a lot of landscaping up to that point, and I guess I wrote that song as kind of a little motivation to, dive back into that stuff again, and just hard work and sweat and getting dirty, and just kind of like, all right, here we go again.
Do you see any crazy wildlife?
Unfortunately, I haven't seen anything too crazy so far. But I guess that is fortunate.
I guess.
I don't get any bear attacks, but I certainly hear stories from the older guys there.
Yeah. Woo! No Bigfoot.
No Bigfoot. Yeah. But I'll be ready if he's there. I'll be ready.
And you're from Sacramento originally.
That's correct, yeah.
And quite a lot of music came out of Sacramento.
I know a big band out of Sacramento for a while was, what were the, Tesla?
Tesla. Love will find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy had a great voice.
Or Cake. Cake's another big band.
That's it.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So, yeah, and now you.
Yeah, well, I guess so. Yeah.
By way of Washington. So let's play the Ramblin' Years. Any other gigs you got coming up or projects soon?
Yeah, we've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. We're playing May 14th at the Sunset Tavern in Seattle, which is a really great, classic venue up here. We're doing the Northwest Folklife Festival Memorial Day weekend at the Seattle Center, right under the Space Needle, so that'll be fun. Wow. And got some winery shows booked, and then we're hoping to get back to the Tractor Tavern, which is where we had our EP release, kind of figuring out when's a good time to go back there, and who knows, maybe some festivals or Numos coming up, but I can't really, disclose all of that right now. But new record, another new EP, we're probably going to hit the studio again next month and just try to keep pumping out records and playing shows and hope people enjoy what we're doing.
And what's your website?
It's the band name, so www.theramblinyyears.com.
Perfect, and that's with no G in the Ramblin'.
No G.
No G. Excellent. Well, let's play the song One Eye Open. It is Sean Claver of The Ramblin' Years, Mike's Daily Podcast. One Eye Open, that is the Ramblin' Years. As we go outside of Cafe Anyway here at the last place on Earth, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, I forgot to ask Sean where they got the name the Ramblin' Years. So when he gets back to me with that, I will let you know.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And the picture is of Sean, Katie, the two Daniels, and Mitch sitting there, the Ramblin' Years. You can see them now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Mike, I want to tell you that I found the sister to Madame Rootabega and everything. Right. We took care of that a couple shows ago. Yeah. So basically you're telling me that again. Why? Just so you wouldn't forget. Right. So we're not, but we still haven't actually tracked down Madame Rhubarb yet. Madame Rootabega's sister. So when we do that, we'll have her on the show. Okay. Great. It's almost as if you're trying to avoid somebody. Is that why you're talking to me out here, Benita? No. Yeah, actually, it's those guys standing over there. Oh. The guys over there. Okay. What's wrong with them? Mark, they're tourists. They're tourists? Yeah, they wanted to come to Cafe anyway to see where Mike's Daily Podcast is done. Oh, boy, you blew my ear out. Okay. I'll wave hi to them. They seem very nice. They're taking pictures of me. This is very cool. I guess the place is starting to get a little bit popular. Yeah, okay. I don't like it. You like languishing in obscurity? Kinda. Mike, did you know that... Yeah, you found Madame Rootabega's sister. Okay. And you and the Disgruntled Fiddle Player are in love. Well, you said it's short. We're not, like, short in love. We're long in love. You gotta say, in love. Okay, all right. Thank you. But I had a couple more ofs to go. Don't be shy. Go talk to those tourists. Next show, we're going to bring you the return of the much-loved feature, Do You Know Dat? The interesting news feature where we'll look at some intriguing developments going on in the world of music streaming off the internet. Do you do that? Do you listen to music off the internet? There's some new rules in place and some interesting thing with that going on. Therefore, I will go and talk about that next show. Plus, we will hear from Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST-870-Americana. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!